Indigenous musicians and artists to the world. Welcome to Indigenous Superstars with your host, Rhonda Head.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. This week, we have an exciting guest like we do every week. I just want to let people know that we're streaming live. I'm back home in my home res and coming to you live from Biggetti, Manitoba, the heart of Opaskwayak Cree Nation. And this week, just wanted to let people know that, oh, someone says hi here. Hello, that's my sister. She said she's tuning in and saying hi. Hello, Annette. She's in the other room, by the way. I just want to let people know that the past few days I was in Gimli, Manitoba, and we just finished completing a successful Indigenous emerging artist mentorship intensive with 5 emerging artists from Manitoba. And I'm really proud to say that they really did an awesome job participating in the program, and watch out for them in the music industry. Sherry Shorting, Danielle Riel, Martin Desjardins, Becky Martin, and Nori Reblioskis. They did a really awesome showcase that Manitoba Arts Network videotaped them and recorded their music, and they did a really fantastic job. So watch out for them in the upcoming months. They're probably going to take the music industry by storm. I just know it. They did such a wonderful job. I also want to thank Brad Lang he's originally from the Manitoba, and we had a meeting last week, and we talked about my intro and extra, and he helped me with the new intro and extra for Indigenous Superstars. So it was really exciting that he did that for me, and I'm going to be working with him with my next CD that I'm going to be recording, and I'm looking forward to going into his home studio. So it's really, I'm really happy to connect with him, and really thank him again for making my new intro and extra for Indigenous Superstars. So I want to talk about the guest this evening. She's a really amazing person inside and out, very kind-hearted, and a really good friend of mine, and I'm really happy that she's on the show tonight. That's Cindy Paul. And I'm just going to read her bio. Cindy Paul's rich vocals and rhythms combined for a melodic and insightful journey through your imagination and into your heart. On a small ranch near Fort Vermilion, Alberta, a young girl of Métis Cree descent discovered the power of combining her voice with a guitar. By 15, she was composing her own songs, and at 21, walked into a studio, paid for an hour session, and walked out with her first demo. This was the beginning of a lifelong friendship with Barry Allen at Homestead Recorders and Cindy Paul's dream of recording her own songs. In 2001, Cindy completed her first full-length album produced by Gord Matthews and Barry Allen at the Homestead Studio in Edmonton, Alberta, which featured a track written in 1990 inspired by a residential school survivor, He Can Fancy Dance. In the spring of 2015, a video of He Can Fancy Dance had been shared over 1 million times on social media, which propelled the official release of this Northern Girl for international sale. Please welcome Cindy Paul. Hey, Cindy. Dancing.
Hi, Rhonda.
Oh, it's good to have you on the show. Everyone's just saying hi, and they're talking about the video. He Can Fancy That. I watched it earlier this evening before when I was doing my research on you, and I've seen it before many times, but I watched it again, and it made me cry. It's such a beautiful story, and your melody and the lyrics of this song are so powerful. And no wonder why people viewed it over a million times. That's so incredible. Thank you for writing that and sharing that beautiful song that you wrote.
Thanks, Rhonda.
So I want to ask you a couple of questions. How did you get in? What inspired you to get you into music?
Well, I just want to say I'm happy to be on your show, and I'm, so grateful to be able to even talk to you again. It's been a long time since I seen other musicians, so it's really nice to connect. And I think it's awesome that you have this show that enables us to still get out uh, to have an audience. So thank you for that, Rhonda.
Oh,
Um,
you're welcome. I'm happy that you're on the show. I can't wait to hear the stories you're going to tell, what they're going to share with us, and the music you're going to share with us. So I'll get back to my question. Where does the inspiration and like, how did you get involved to become a musician?
Well, I think it was always in my blood. Uh, we came from a family of musicians in northern Alberta, where I was raised. We were raised in quite an isolated community, and with that, we had lots of everybody played guitars, fiddles, and everything. So I grew up with it every weekend. I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old, and actually I wrote my song even before that on a piano. uh, my grandma taught me a few chords on a piano, so I feels like I've been writing songs and singing all my life, really.
That's awesome. So I want to ask you a question about so you can fancy dance. Where did that song come from, like, for you to write that?
Well, it was an unintentional thing, really. I was always writing poetry, short stories, and songs all my life, and uh, I had a connection with a neighbor, and she was a cousin of mine, and she was telling me stories of when um, she went into residential school from when she was 7 to right from when she left. I believe it was 17. She was in there. And that night I couldn't sleep after I heard those stories. They weren't good stories, and I couldn't sleep that night. And so I got up and I picked up a pen and paper, and that song just poured out. And it took me a while to be able to sing it. It was written over 30 years ago now. Well, just 31 years ago. And it took me at least 10 years to record it. And then 10 years after that for anyone want to even hear it, because when I released that song, it wouldn't get radio play, or no one wanted to hear it yet. But I don't think people were ready to listen
Right.
until just recently, like a few years ago.
Yeah, that's a really, really powerful song, and it really tells the story of what our parents went through and grandparents went through when they went to residential school. You just really hit the nail on the head with that one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for reading it. It's very, very powerful. So with that, we're gonna go on to your first performance.
Okay, I'd like to do a song called Pretty Maiden. And I haven't really sang this one too much. And uh, it's kind of a fictional tale about uh, how I dreamt my great grandfather. He worked for the Hudson's Bay Company, and he came from Scotland, and he came up here to northern Alberta, and he met this beautiful Cree woman up in Little Red River. And this is how I imagined it was when he saw her for the first time. Would you save me, pretty maiden? I am weak and I am cold. I've lost all my reasons why I'm so far away from home. Far away from everything that I Would you save me, pretty maiden? I'm so far from home. Then the raven-haired maiden took me by my shaking hands. She told me all her stories, how to live upon the land, far away from everything that I have ever known. Would you save me, pretty maiden? I'm so far from home. I will build you a castle, my raven-haired girl. I'll give you my reasons why I'm alone in this world, far away from everything that I have ever known. Would you save me, pretty maiden? I'm so far from home, far away from everything that I have ever known. Would you save me, pretty maiden? I'm so far from home.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So we were talking earlier about before the show started, and we were talking about how COVID got us doing different things or thinking outside the box. And can you share with the audience what you shared with me?
Yeah, so it gave me an opportunity to do something that I kind of always wanted to do, and that was filmmaking. As an artist, I'm also a visual artist too, a painter, and I see everything in movies. And I always saw my songs in movies and stories in movies that I was writing. So what this isolation gave me an opportunity to do was have the time to do that. And I actually just released my first short documentary, and it was released today on the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 6 website. And if you go to my page, you can uh, get a link to that. It's an 8-minute short documentary, and it's about the devastation of a flood we had on our river. The banks flooded our community on both sides. So um, it kind of tells the story of the Métis people, and our settlement here is the oldest settlement in Alberta. We've been here 200 years, and it's impacted us tremendously. And it just, I wanted the documentary to show the humanity side of that. I wanted people to see that there was real lives that got affected, and um, a culture that's being lost. We always talk about hanging on to our culture, and I believe that's what keeps us strong. That's what keeps our children um, strong and proud. And I feel like that if we lose our homeland here, and if we get displaced somehow, we're going to lose some of that. And um, I feel filmmaking gave me that opportunity to share that passion and that little voice I had inside, as well as incorporate some of my music. And I actually used that song Pretty Maiden for the film as well.
That's great. Yeah, it's really important for people to hear our stories, especially from our perspective. So it's really awesome that you're getting into filmmaking, and COVID has made us think outside the box. So, one of your fans wants the link to your video, so can you send that to me and I'll post it on on the
Okay.
broadcast when it's over. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's really important that we that what you're doing through filmmaking and sharing our stories, and and from hearing it from a different perspective, especially our own perspective, and the stories that never get told, how we've as a people been affected by colonization. So thank you for doing that. It's so wonderful. The other thing I want to talk to you about is what how you've received many nominations and awards. Can you tell us about that?
Well, it seems like a long time ago, but it was just a few years back. I had the opportunity to go to the Native American Music Awards. A couple of years I was nominated for both albums there and got to present on stage too. So that was like a really amazing experience for me, not only to go there and experience the award show, but to meet other artists. And it it really changed my life going to those award shows and attending them, because it gave me uh, a little push to not be so shy, I guess is a good way to put it, because when you're kind of born and raised in the bush, you tend to uh, you know just kind of want to stay there sometimes.
Well,
So
I played in the bush till I was 14, so I totally get what you're saying.
so those attending those award shows kind of, it pushed me to get out there. And then once I did that, uh I wanted to keep going, and I started traveling to communities and doing lots of going into communities, singing and teaching music and art. So it was a really good thing. It was a really positive experience. Um,
That's awesome. I remember meeting you there at the Native American Award Music Award, and we hung out and we had a lot of fun. It was a good time. Yeah, can you tell us about the workshops that you do and which communities that you've been at and
So I've been traveling for almost 3 years quite steadily. I work with nonprofit organizations mostly. I do some one-on-one just contract, but I've mostly been working with ArtsCan Circle and InPath, and that's Nuijinan. So they're nonprofits that go into remote Indigenous communities, and they bring music and art and instruments into the communities. So we do visual workshops, painting murals. We do songwriting. I do a lot of songwriting workshops, and as well as we record the songs too. So I really miss traveling, and I really miss going to the communities. So it's been hard for me staying home.
oh my goodness, I totally get it. We all just got cut off from what we love to do. So yeah, so that in a way it's kind of good, but not really, because like for myself and yourself, we thought outside the box and tried to recreate ourselves and rebrand ourselves, and but we're helping our community doing that. So hopefully the world will heal soon, and we'll be able to travel together again, Cindy, like we did
Yeah.
to Albuquerque, and that was a lot of fun too when we went there. Yeah. So have you? Are you doing more new recordings?
I actually have two songs that are unreleased yet, and that I'm working towards a full-length album. And as well, I have some exciting news too. I've joined a traditional drum group with three beautiful and talented ladies from Edmonton, and
Oh,
we're called Nipsey. So that means
nice.
it's in Cree. It means willow, and it's a new experience for me. I made my own drum a few years ago, and I I made it with full intentions that I wanted to use this drum and sing with it, uh, not knowing that I actually would be in a drum group and singing one day. But it just was meant to be. And I'm really excited to be in the group. And we do have a Facebook page. You can find us there at Nipsey, is just a Facebook page name. And we have one song out, and we're actually recorded it. I'm just in the process of mixing the track now, and that'll be released as our first single.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear it. So you do mixing too?
I do. That's another thing that this all enabled me to do. It gave me the time to build my own studio. And so I have built a recording studio, and I've been recording and mixing other artists. So that's a new thing for me
Wow.
too. So as well as producing films, I've been producing artists. So hey, if you need a producer, just give me a call.
Cindy MacGyver. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's amazing.
I was
Yes,
always a jack of all trades. So
that's really incredible. That's so awesome. Good for you. That's so awesome. I just want to take a little bit of time here to say hi to everyone tuning in. Mary Graham, it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mary.
happy birthday, Mary.
Someone named Cheryl Siwi-Pagaham. Hope I didn't kill that. Yeah,
See you
Linda.
Pegaham.
Yeah, and then someone named Agent 301, Patricia Sousen, Janet Farrelly McHugh, Gayleen Utana Brown from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Yuri Jabla, hope I didn't ruin that name. Dene Therick, Jared Portois said hi, Gilbert Jones. So hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in tonight and listening to the amazing Cindy Paul share her really incredible stories and her beautiful songs that she writes. So right now we're gonna listen to her second song.
Okay. I'm going to do another song too off the second album. It's called Man I Raised. And I was talking to Rhonda just before we aired here about the good things that happened with COVID. It forced us to get into things maybe we weren't familiar with, but also there's lots of things happening there in our communities with isolation and depression and drugs and alcohol. And I think, I just want to put good energy out there, and know that if you ever need some support, to reach out, and there's always somebody there that loves you. And just remember that you're never alone. Always reach out for somebody to love. And this is going out to a man I love very much, my son Clay. It's called The Man I Raised. Please slow down, son, rest your eyes. You said I'll sleep, Mom, when I die. Can't you see that I'm a man? Let 'em catch me if they can. And all the things that I can't change, all the people I can't blame. I made mistakes and he will pay. He is the man that I have raised. This snowy road, it leads to hell, and I'm drinking whiskey by myself. I'm praying for a better day, and for the man that I have raised. And all the things that I can't change, all the people I can't blame. I made mistakes and he will pay. He is a man that I have raised. Well, they caught up to his wild ways. Went to see him in the jail, and as I turned to walk away, a few choice words he had to say. Mom, all the things that I can't change, all the people I can't blame. I made mistakes and I will pay. I am the man that you have raised. And I'm praying for a better day and for the man that I have raised. He is the man that I have raised. He is the man that I have raised.
Hey, that's awesome. So we were talking earlier about a little bit too before the show started. We were talking about guitar playing, and you said you started at the young age of 8 years old.
Yeah. Well, my mom was a guitar player, and she got this guitar, and I always watched her. Like, I sat and I watched her fingers, and she got a Kenny Rogers record.
Yeah.
The first song I ever learned was Lucille from Kenny Rogers, and I just went upstairs and I practiced that song till I could play it, and then I went and downstairs and surprised my mom and played her Lucille. So from then on, I was pretty much hooked on guitar. Yeah.
Right on. And then I was just telling you too, I just started guitar lessons and it's so hard, but I'm still plugging through, still practicing. And right now I'm learning technique and I'm learning a couple chords right now, but I'm learning how to strum and glide. And it's really, there's just so much to learn.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's such
really
a good
enjoying it.
tool. It's
It
such a good
is.
tool to have. And, music is healing, and it helps you work through feelings that, a lot of things can't work. And so having a guitar and be able to play your own guitar kind of enables you to create your own songs too, and your own melodies. So um, you were talking about early how important it was that we write our own stories. And I always say to kids when I'm out teaching them songwriting is if we don't write our own stories, someone else is going to write them for us. So as Indigenous people, as Métis people, as if we don't write our own stories or tell our own stories, somebody else will write the history for us. So that's why I think as a songwriter and as now like a young filmmaker, I think it's so very important that our stories come from us, and not
Right.
bringing in people to tell the stories for us. So
That's right. From our own
yeah,
perspective. Yeah, that's so true.
and the
So
more
I have a request. I
okay,
never, it's the first time I'm going to request one of my my guest artists to perform a song. Are you okay with that?
oh, okay.
Can you perform? Can he fancy dance?
Okay, sure, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
It was the day the black robe came into his land. It said, he will teach your children right from wrong. And they took him from his mother's hand. He was gone. He could not fancy dance, he could not sing. He was told that it was a sin. And sometimes he'd fly out on the eagle's wing in his mind. Robbed of his spirit and his pride, he was told his people were undignified. He could not speak the language of his land. How could a man like that survive? Now he drinks whiskey and hangs out in bars. He says this fire water can do me no harm. Can't you see he lost his soul years ago? He's losing the fight again. Does this war ever really end? You know, all he wanted was to be your friend. He's losing the fight again. On a concrete corner all alone, he whispered, mighty spirit, can you take me home? Take me back to when I was a little child. And he bowed his worried head and he closed his lonely eyes. Now he can fancy dance and he can sing. You could see him fly out on the eagle's wing. If you listen close enough, you can hear him. His every breath is in the wind. He can fancy dance, he can sing. You could see him fly out on the eagle's wing. And if you listen close enough, you could hear him singing. His every breath is in the wind. His every breath is in the wind. Now he can fancy dance and he can sing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for this tearing up here. Such a beautiful song. Thank you for request. Thank you for taking my request. So where can people find you on social media?
So I have a website. It's cindypaul.net, and all my social media links are on there. You can find me at just on anywhere on social media at Cindy Paul Music. So on Instagram, Facebook, and also my music is in all forms too, on Spotify, iTunes and everywhere too. Both albums they're out there. You just kind of Google me, you'll find me.
Awesome. That was so good. I was so happy to have you on, and I just love your the songs that you write, your storytelling, and your guitar playing. And now I'm looking forward to watching your documentary. And I can't wait to see what other creations that you do. And yeah, I'll be considering you as a producer for sure for my upcoming songs. And I just want to remind the people out there watching and listening that you can like my YouTube channel on Rhonda Head, and all the past musicians that I interviewed are on there. We're also on podcasts, so I'll be that'll come out probably by tomorrow. I'll put it out on podcast, so you'll be able to download and listen to the episode. Cindy's my 37th guest, and I'm really happy to have her on the show. And I just want to mention about Lisa Clark. She gave me this really beautiful wrap, and I want to give her a shout out. And I really thank her that she gave this to me, and I told her that I'd be wearing it tonight, and I'd give her a shout out. And Mary Graham is saying, "Best birthday present ever." Listening to Cindy Paul.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Have a great birthday, Mary.
You have any final words to say?
Oh, I just want to, you know what? I just want to send love out there, because I think right now a lot of people just need to know that, and keep sending good, positive energy out to each other. We need each other right now, and thanks again, Rhonda, for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm just like you touched my heart with your music. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to announce the next musical guest is Keith Sakola. So I'm really excited to interview him. Probably it's going to be on Wednesday because I'm traveling on Thursday to Winnipeg for my other doctor appointment. So I just want to tell everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and kisagitin. Hi, hi.